So NVIDIA launched the new GPUs, the new 50 series GPUs, the 5090 and the 5080, and there's a bit of a weird thing going on with them that happened with the 4090 specifically, and it caused a lot of controversy and a lot of problems. And I think NVIDIA actually fixed this problem with the 4090, but it looks like it's coming back on the 5090 now. Now, these cards, again, these are very powerful cards. These are pulling incredible wattage, and you need a pretty beefy power supply to actually run these things. You know, they're not small powered. You know, AMD, they don't run as much power, but these run some hefty power. I think, was it the 5090s running like 500 watts? That's pretty beefy. You know, that's for, again, including your CPU and all that, could total up to nearly 1,000 watts. You know, you could have a pretty beefy power supply, and you've got to have a reliable power supply for that as yet. And, of course, the 4090 had big problems with the cables melting, the plastic cable, the PCIe cable, or I think it's an 8-pin connector. The 8-pin connector, some of them use 6-pin, I think, but these are using 8-pin, I think, or 2 8-pins, or is it 1 8-pin? I think it's 1 8-pin, and of course, these are pretty beefy. Now, I'm presuming the cable gets warm and starts melting, and it looks like that problem is actually occurring with the 5090 as well. There are still people on the subreddit still posting 4090s being burnt. There are a few people. Want to thank y'all. Okay, so yeah, I don't know if these are just dodgy adapters people are buying, or these power supplies just can't take this heat from these. It's not a great look, really. Now, a lot of it was, I think, due to it bending. I think they fixed that in NVIDIA, like I said. They made it better. Instead of it actually being straight out, it's now a corner, which is pretty good. It's like bent in, so it's a lot more better. Apparently even 5080s are melting as well. The cables are melting. Again, this is not a good look. If the cable melts, the GPU is rendered useless, because the plastic has all melted to pieces inside. So in other words, you've got a dead GPU there. That would work, but you can't plug anything in it because the port is melted to pieces. It's kind of a fail list. Now, of course, this is not going to probably affect everyone. There's going to be the unfortunate ones, and I think there are still people experiencing this with the 4090, some of the 4090 models, which is unfortunate, and I know that caused a big scare when it first came out. But just scrolling through the NVIDIA subreddit, how to capture a cable before it melts, and obviously you can see, I want to guess it's with some of these cable ports. I don't know if they're cheaply made or stuff like that. It again, not a great look for NVIDIA. Of course, they had a lot of problems. I think it was due to bending. I don't think it's due to bending anymore. I don't really know what's causing it. Whether a very popular post on the NVIDIA subreddit was almost a week ago, where one of the actual ports of the pins had burnt through the plastic on the outside. Now, this is what he put on Reddit. I guess it was just a matter of time. I looked out on a 5090 FE, and my luck just ran out. I just upgraded from the 4090 FE to my 5090. My PSU is a Asus Loki SFXL, the cable used, of course. I am distant from PC building world and would like to know what I'm doing. The cable was securely fastened and clicked on both sides, GPU and PSU. This is not a good look. A 12-pin connector gone down. I'm guessing these you have to use 2 6-pins for these, I think. Do they sell 12 pins? I think they'll probably sell an adapter. I noticed the burning smell playing Battlefield 5. The power draw was 500 to 520 watts. Instantly turned off my PC and see for yourself. The cable was securely fastened and clicked. The PSU cable haven't changed from the 4090 FE, which was used for 2 years. Here is the previous build. Notice a melting smell. Turned off the PC and see photos. The problem seems to have originated from the PSU side. Loki's 12 VH-PW pins are much thinner than the 12H power slot on the 5090. I don't know what to do really. I will try to submit a warranty claim to NVIDIA and Asus, but I'm afraid I will simply just shut down the third-party cable part. Fuck, man. So yeah, it's not a great look. I don't know whether these are, personally, if you have run a 4090, I would probably just replace the whole power supply to begin with, just to be sure. I think maybe the 4090 had done a lot of that over years and years and years. I guess it was just luck. I don't know if this is more of an Asus problem or an NVIDIA problem, but it's not a great look either way. Hopefully they can get this issue resolved and get a insurance claim, because I mean that's not a good look. I'm sure someone, again, he'd probably be able to get that 5090 fixed by someone, but you know, it's probably going to cost a fair bit and it's going to take time out, you know. And again, it's a power supply. 1000-watt power supplies aren't cheap. They're what, like $200-$300. You know, they're not cheap things, and to have to replace them like that, especially as you've just bought already a $2,000 GPU, heck, that's a lot of money, you know, right there. So, you know, these are things like this. Wow. Here we go again with NVIDIA. Oh, wow, update, here's another one. Wow, okay. Is this a 5090? It looks, yes, it does. Now, I know there is a term, is it modular? I think it's a modular, fully modular, I think. I don't know what you would actually... It's the power supplies where you actually get cables with them. I can't remember. I think it's called a fully modular. They're the power supplies you cannot plug in. You can't mix and match wires. So if you lose the wires, you really adamant and not knowing, the best bet is to just go and buy a new power supply. Because, again, mixing and matching wires from power, it might work on it, but I think they're all rated differently and stuff. Very weird how it's done, but if you lose the wires or the wires get damaged and you don't have any replacements, I think the best case scenario would just be to replace the whole power supply. Yes, it's going to cost a fair bit of money to do so, but of course, at the end of the day, you're not going to blow your motherboard to pieces or, you know, blow any parts to pieces because, you know, again, the GPU is the most expensive thing in a build. Well, for most people who are, you know, up there with gaming and stuff. So, of course, you don't want to blow the power supply because that's just going to be money burning away. So, yeah, these are not good. We've got another post on the subreddit about this. Update, here's another one. Alright, so here's everything taken out. I do realise that the white cable Corsair is not supposed to be connected to my power supply. I made this mistake 4 years ago and completely forgot the PSU cable need to originate from the brand. Exactly, yes. That's a mistake. I think they give you warnings about that, although they should do. It should give you a warning when you open the box. Do not mix and match wires from different companies. Even if it's from the same company and it's a different power supply, you shouldn't mix and match them. The best thing is just to throw the whole power supply out and buy a new one if you've lost the wires. It's, you know, if you're like, oh no, which wire goes to which, just throw it all out. Now again, I don't know if these are an NVIDIA error or user error or, you know, power supply error. I'm not too sure, although it's not a good look, I guess, for either one of them. Again, these are ruining GPUs right here. I made this mistake 4 years ago. In this case, EVGA, but with that being said, I can never recall an issue to where the cable would be burned along with the official EVGA. EVGA, a very, very good company. I think they do some power supplies, but they had a big falling out with NVIDIA, and they were known as one of the best companies to buy GPUs and power supplies from. Again, I don't know if they still do power supplies. I don't think they do GPUs at all unless it's AMD now. But yeah, as seen, the 5090 looks to be unscathed, but everything else was fried. If this was purely my fault, then so be it. I should have remembered to purchase the correct corresponding cable. I plan to pick up another PSU MSI 1300 watt later in the week and see what happens. Yeah, you can see that cable fried to pieces again. Oh wow, it fried the do not remove this cover. Okay, it doesn't really give warnings on there, but it looks like he got very lucky with his 5090, because again, this would probably not be covered on insurance, and again, that's $2,000 right there. Not exactly the greatest use of money, but it looks like it fried all the connectors on most of the connectors on the actual power supply, which, wow, that's pretty crazy stuff. So again, that should be a lot. I don't know if that's a NVIDIA problem, but he got lucky there either way. Again, most of them seem to just be 4090s that are burning. But yeah, I don't know if this is a NVIDIA user error or these are just people a user error. This is, again, not a great look. These are pretty expensive graphics cards, and, well, it's not a good look when NVIDIA's doing this sort of stuff. Again, I don't know if it's totally NVIDIA or it's just user error. First post might actually be a bit of NVIDIA, but the second one that is garnered a lot of attention looks to be just stupid using human error that made a mistake, which again is unfortunate as hell. You don't want to see this, but someone put, posting this for insurance, cable mod 12 watt 4x pins. It doesn't, to be fair, it looks kind of bent, but you got to be careful with these things, haven't you? I mean, it looks like a mini RTX case, so super excited to have this card. Been running it for a few days, but seeing all the news about the burnt connectors and poor power rail design, I want to get some insurance and maybe opinions on my build. This card pumps a lot of heat, but it does a great job at maintaining good temps, roughly 55 to 70, under real loads 65 to 75. While drawing at maximum, I've seen 580 watts. Thankfully, that max load is only something that I've seen in 3D Mark, but in games and other else, it's more like an average of 450 watts. That's still a big thing to be pushing. I think I have a 7900 AMD, and that, I don't know, I can't remember how much, that doesn't push as much as that, obviously. But hey, I don't know if, again, this is NVIDIA's problem or it's just stupid human error. But again, I think it's to do with the cables more than anything. I've seen a few posts on it. Some people still posting 4090s being burned, which is pretty crazy stuff. Wow, not surprising at all though. After everything, not surprising at all. Thank you all. And then yeah, that's like 4090 being burned. But yeah, it looks to be just with dodgy power connectors, to be honest. I've discovered something concerning and I need the experts to chime in more. 12 VH power discovery. So it looks, yeah, I think it's to do with the connector more than anything. Yeah, not a good look. I don't think this is partly NVIDIA. I think this could be, again, power cable. Some people stupidly mixing matching wires as well. Wow, that's a dangerous attempt. But yeah, hopefully we don't have this thing again. Again, there's only a few posts. A lot of other people are saying their 5090s are working perfectly, so I guess it's just a bad batch. Hopefully they can claim on insurance or get a return from NVIDIA, and hopefully everything goes well, because That's not a cheap graphics card, as we all know. And to have it go like that sucks pretty much.